Hello and welcome to a quick video covering the new submod that has been released for Awakening the Rebellion 2.11. This submod is called the Awakening the Rebellion Independency submod and finally allows you to play as the minor factions. So this submod will allow you to play as the Corporate Sector Authority, you've got the Hapens, the Hutts, you can even play as the Pirates, and even the Imperial Remnants as the Warlords, which is really fun as well. So before we hop into the gameplay of the submod, we're going to quickly talk about how to launch the submod and allow you to play it. So what you're going to want to do is join the Awakening the Rebellion Discord, which I will have linked in the description below, and then go over to News and Announcements, scroll all the way down where you see Commander Tots, who has created the submod, so shout out to him, and scroll down and click on this Steam Workshop. From here, visit the site, let's make that bigger, hit the green subscribe button, so where it says subscribed, scroll all the way down to where you see Steam Mod, then a bunch of numbers, and then Steam Mod and a bunch of numbers, copy all of that, open up Steam, find your Star Wars Empire at War, go over to this Manage, where the little settings button is, hit Properties. On this general page, scroll down where it says Advanced Users may choose to enter modifications to their launch options. Paste in those Steam Mod and a bunch of numbers. You can go ahead and exit out of there, and then from there, launch your Empire at War, make sure to launch Forces of Corruption, and it should launch you into the Independency submod, which hopefully you can see on your screen right there. And then once you're in, you are able to play the submod. Once you have successfully launched into the Independency submod, you will be launched into Star Wars Awakening the Rebellion. Once you hit Single Player and Galactic Conquest and you have to choose a side, you will have access to all the minor factions. So you have access to the Pirates, the Hutt Cartel, the CSA, Independent Faction, the Hapes Consortium, and the Warlord Council. Once you have chosen a faction, you will have a small limit as to which campaigns you can play as you will have to have access to the minor factions on those campaigns. However, most of them do, so you won't have too many limits on which campaign you can play as. I highly recommend giving a chance to all of the minor factions. They are all very fun. You will have access to the entire unit roster for each faction, and the developer has also introduced a few unique units for each minor faction, as well as some unique buildings as well. So we're going to play as the Corporate Sector Authority real quick and get a little bit of gameplay in with them. So here we are on one of the old campaign maps. As you can see, we are playing as the CSA, and we do have access to the entire unit roster. We've got no technology limits on all of these minor factions as well, so you'll be able to build every single unit they have to offer right at the beginning of a campaign. However, once you start a campaign, you will have to realize and remember that the minor factions don't have access to a whole lot of planets. For this campaign, they only have access to 2. On a lot of the bigger campaigns, they usually have about 4 planets. So I highly recommend starting a campaign that you have 4 planets on, and remember that building up your economy is your best friend, and it's going to be even more important when you're playing as some of these minor factions. With that being said, let's go ahead and launch into a quick battle as the CSA. We don't even worry about putting a fleet lead, so we can have our fleet come out all at once, which should be very fun. One thing the developer did recommend is if you're having a hard time and you want to have a better experience maybe, or an easier experience I should say, playing as these minor factions, do a campaign, do a Galactic Conquest where you have 2 planets at the beginning and it's a random GC. A random campaign where all factions only have 2 planets at the beginning of a campaign. He recommended that so you have an easier time playing as one of the minor factions and you can learn them as well that way. So here we are with the CSA. I went ahead and built a Tag a Battle Cruiser, which is so cool that you can build one of these so early on. They're very good. We've got some carriers over here, the Rhinodon carrier. Pretty cool looking unit. The CSA, I feel like, is going to be one of those elite factions, right? Their units are super expensive. However, they all have really good units, really good fighters coming out of them. We've got ourselves a Venator, got some Marauders. Ooh, I love these Victory 2s. These Victory 2s are really good. They have flak weaponry and the laser defense ability, so it's a really good units. I highly recommend, like I said, checking out all the different minor factions. You got the Hutts, which are really cool. The Hapens, man, their fleets are fun to play as. They have so many units with missiles and rockets and torpedoes. Man, you can do some serious damage with the Hapens. Look at that battle cruiser, man. That thing's sick looking. Yeah. The Warlord Council is a really cool minor faction as well. Like I said, they will allow you to play as the Imperial Remnant, and you'll have all those warlords that you have access to. But the developer was telling me, his name is Commander Tots, so I don't remember if I've said that yet, but Commander Tots was telling me that when you're playing as the warlord faction, you only start off with so many warlords. However, once you go to a specific warlord's planet and you conquer that planet, you can buy that warlord and he will join your council. And so you can kind of like go around specific planets on the galaxy map will give you more warlords. And there's a lot of warlords too. There's like a good chunk of warlords. So it's, in my opinion, that's really fun because it'll allow you, it'll give you an incentive to keep pushing, keep going in the campaign, because you get access to more and more warlords. So I highly recommend checking out the Warlord Council faction. Also, when I was looking at the Discord, the developers of Awakening Rebellion, so like President and them, they mentioned that if people really, really like this submod, the developers of Awakening Rebellion will consider having this as part of the actual mod, which is really cool as well. You also gotta realize, man, the CSA's units are so pretty. Look at those blue turbo lasers, man. Those look so good. Where'd my Venator go? What the heck? Oh, there he is. Look at the elite fighters. With the carrier, as well as the Taga and the Venator, we have so many fighters, which is really, really good. That'll help you out really well at the start of this campaign. Dang, did you miss any more turbo lasers? Terrible accuracy. So the CSA is a really, really cool faction. The Hapins, like I said, I feel like the Hapins could be one of the best factions, just because of their space units. They have so many units with missiles and rockets, like I said. Uh-oh, we're going to lose this victory too. That's okay, it's not like I'm going to pursue this campaign. I feel like the Corporate Sector Authority is definitely the prettiest faction. Unless you like purple, then you can play as the Hapes, but the blue turbo lasers look so good. Those engines are really powerful looking. So there you go, there's a pretty cool, easy core band space battle. Let's hop into a ground battle as the CSA. Alright, so we have access to all of their ESPO units. So we've got flamers. Like I said, the submod does allow for certain units to be built by certain minor factions. So they have access, the CSA has access to droid factories. So they only can build B1s, B2s, and AATs. So they don't have access to the whole droid unit roster. However, it does bolster them a little bit as he continues to roll out more updates, giving more units. We have access to B1s, B2s, and AATs, which is really cool. Let's do this ground battle. One unique building that I saw when I was reading more about the submod, like I said, certain factions have unique buildings. The Hutt Cartel has a building that allows them to build cages on planets. And these cages are a defensive building. So when an enemy faction attacks that planet and the cages are on that planet, they will like open up the cages and creatures will come out. So I could just imagine the Empire attacks a planet, right? And then all of a sudden these cages will open up and it's just a bunch of Acklay and like Rancors and such, and they just go crazy. I wonder if you have access to like controlling them. I assume you would, but that'd be really cool. So I'm very happy that the developer is introducing a lot of really cool and unique units like that. Makes things so much more cool. They also have like a unique little drop. It's a little purple. I like that. It's pretty cool looking. All those ridiculously hard battles against the different ESPO units and all these really hard to kill ESPO walkers for some reason. They have so much health for some reason. Look at that, 120 health. It's pretty good. Got our classic AT APs. Can't go wrong with him. Good old artillery unit. Are there people on there? Oh yeah, there are people up there. That's cool. Man, this is such a cool submod. Really happy that I made this. I know a lot of people would go into the files and make the minor factions playable, but finally we have a submod for it, which is very fun. What all abilities do we have? We have take cover. That's pretty good. Switch fletchets. Okay. Swaps the anti-infantry fletchets to anti-vehicle. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Uh-oh. That was like a temporary ability. Maybe. I don't know. We've got our classic TS, or TX-130s. Definitely a solid unit. That guy's so dead, yep. Ooh. Let's keep pushing forward. The developer did tell me that in the next updates, he's going to introduce missions for the submods, which is, once again, so cool. If we can get some unique missions for each submod, or each minor faction, that'll be really fun. It'll once again encourage you to play each individual minor faction. And with that, we're going to wrap up this video, but I highly recommend checking out this submod. If you have any questions on how to download it, definitely drop a comment. And if you're looking for more Awakening Rebellion videos and coverage on this channel, definitely subscribe and check out my other stuff.